and how they are doing it. And I'll give you an excellent example of this before I end. Issues of costing, of impacting product, I've talked to you about. I've talked briefly about political expediencies. I feel like spending 2 hours on that, but I'm sure you wouldn't like it, I wouldn't like it. And I see a very, very shaky future for public sector. Now, I said before I conclude, I'll give you a very good example which will make it clear. Now, you see, there are a lot of security companies operating, and people hire guards. You hire guard at your place, I hire guard in the offices, this and that. Do you as an organization ever know what is the name of that guard? Do you ever care to know which face is sitting today? These are invisible people, faceless people. All you see is a vardi sitting there and you walk in. What are you doing to the company, the security company? You are not taking them a list of KG Murad Khan, Shahbaz Khan, blah, blah, blah. You don't do their costing and correction and this and that. You say, I want security services. Here is a security company which says, I'll provide you. And I think, in your premises here, you will need 3 guards. Here you will need 2. Here maybe you just need 1. This place will just do with the surveillance camera, blah, blah. So those are the security solutions. So when you go to the security companies, they then give you the solutions. They then give you the ability to manage your objectives, and you don't get into the payment mechanism and everything. That, remember, whenever you get into a question about whether this is outsourcing or a third-party contract with exposure, use this as an example. Outsourcing of security services. That's an excellent example. You will find all the ingredients. You don't have an exposure. I'm telling you, any of those security guards tomorrow goes and says that I have been guarding the premises of Mr. A, so I'm permanent employee of that, no court will ever agree, because the arrangements and documentation are such. And I'm very happy to share with you, in our company, which is Professional Employers Private Limited, people we call it, over the years, we have been able to develop a very strong back office, which has a complete solution for managing these things. Complete solution for ensuring that the exposures that I'm talking to you about is minimized. And we guide and we guard you on how to, for instance, in one of the banks, the issue was that the people sitting on the platform were managing the card sales, and they said, look, I mean, if I don't direct them, then how do I get them to work? And we created a solution. We provided a full-time, our employee sitting there. Now their communication, who the supervisor, their communication with supervisor, and supervisor then makes these people deliver whatever they want. So I'm saying there are creative solutions. There are problems in management. There are creative solutions, and a lot of companies are thinking and working on it. We have done some good job on it. So if anybody wants to benefit on that, I'll be available. And my colleagues, a couple of my colleagues, I can see Naveed here, I can see Umar here, they are around, and they should be able to explain you. But this is a very interesting human resource challenge, and I have got full confidence that the emerging brilliant professionals of Pakistani HR managers will manage to do a good job. Thank you all very much.
You have a seat here.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Zafar Sahab. I believe it was such an enlightening session that people have learned a lot about that. You people have done it twice. May I request you stand up?
I've been standing, so you...
Great. Can we do like this?
What?
Yes. For me, lunch के बाद HR यहाँ पे है. Can we take it here? Great. Thank you very much. बैठे. बहुत शुक्रिया.
That's no compliment to my presentation, by the way.
मैं सब
Zafar, I don't know, your mic's not working. Hello? I don't need a mic actually. That's true. I'm a born loudspeaker. Zafar, I was just thinking,
Ruxana, I think you have a very valid question. Why has it not been taken to the court so far? My own feeling is that because contract employees operate in a very insecure environment at the moment, anybody would not like to be the first drop of rain because they know that they will get fired in 3 seconds. So nobody has had the adequate, they actually, I gave you a very good example of KESC, mindset of permanent and contract. When permanent employees can take things for granted, contract employees are trying to make an attempt to turn into permanent. And the only way they can turn into permanent is by being good boys all over until the time. And it does happen that sometimes, they've done well, so you say, okay, now, and it really, in reality, it happens. You bring them to permanent payroll. So their guiding, driving force at this point in time to prove it to you that they are nice, good employees, so that at an appropriate time they get into it. And if any one of them will do that, obviously he will go, and the companies have the might to fight it out in the court. Will that always remain like that? Is there a guarantee that nobody tomorrow will go and just raise the issue to the court? I'm not quite sure. But all I'm saying is that if one person goes, and if there is a court ruling on that, or maybe, I'm sure Faisal may even throw some light, there must have been some court rulings. If there have been court rulings and still they are not going, then, I think it is what is holding them is a hope and promise for the future.
Zafar Sahab, if I could just add here, some people have gone into court. We are getting notices now, and it's evolving. I mean, but what the point I want to highlight coming out of your presentation was we did, this arrangement that Zafar Sahab mentioned 4 years ago in HBL, outsourcing humne ki thi. The most difficult challenge that we faced then and still continue to face is our own people. There's a lack of understanding amongst the line managers who work with these people, and would you believe they sign off on their muster rolls despite instructions? They approve leaves despite instructions. And somehow, that is an exposure. I remember that we had a conference, the whole senior team was there in some offsite meeting, and Zafar Sahab and myself, we made a presentation to the people there about what you do and what you don't in such situations, as line managers dealing with outsourced services. हमारा खुद का अपना mindset HR में हम थे, हम भी जब बात करते थे फैसल से या हमारे legal advisor बाजवा साहब who's now a judge in the Sindh High Court, वो कहते थे कि जनाब आप guard की बात ना करें, आप security service की बात करें. So the mindset of the people in HR have to change first, and then they have to convince the line managers, and reinforcement is the order of the day. You need to reinforce again and again to these people that look, there is a Chinese wall and these are not your employees. There is a contact or go between that who needs to be there, and that should be the point of contact. So, professionals are coming in this area. Outsourcing is an evolving field in Pakistan. There's a lot of future for it. A lot of organizations will start outsourcing. But there has to be a systematic and methodical approach, and I'm sure that when Faisal Mahmood Ghani makes his presentation, he'll highlight these points also. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. हम questions पे आते हैं. हमारे बाकी panels, let them complete and sit here. So we will go for proper question answer session. I would request you, please bear with me the things. May I request Mr. Harun Wahid sir, sir, please for the head table. Faisal Ghani, Mr. Faisal Ghani, please, can you please come here? Mr. Badr Khushnood, please, can you come on the head table? Thank you very much. Heading towards the next presentation, the topic is, again, contractor employees, business and financial perspective. It's quite interesting. The first Sahab has touched a little bit on that, but we might get a detail on that. The person who is going to present is He is a guru and HR professional from the last 20 plus years. He is the Director HR for Unilever Pakistan and President of Pakistan Society of Human Resource Management. May I request Mr. Harun Waheed for his thoughts on contractor employees, business and financial perspective. Please, sir.
Thank you, and thank you, Zafar Sahab. Assalamu alaikum, first of all. Thank you, Zafar Sahab, for really starting off a very burning topic that I'm sure all of us in the industry are facing today. But where you left on outsourcing, I think we should take a step back. Let's not talk about contractor employees. Let's talk of the concept. That's very important. Because let's throw that contractor employees out of the window. We got to move at the pace and with the time where the whole world is moving. And that's outsourcing. Because that's important. And what actually outsourcing means. You talked about, Zafar Sahab, security companies. You mentioned Ruxana again and again. And there are many other service providers. In the companies now, outsourcing is not a new way of working. It's been there in the industry. It's been there, if you go back, you know, when the American economy and the Japanese economy and the German economy was started having a turnaround, outsourcing was a means to lessen the cost, to reduce the cost of operation. But that does not mean that people are going to be deprived of their rights. I think the tragedy is that we look at people as a cost and we don't compare that with efficiencies and productivities, and we go the wrong way. Important thing is, first of all, to understand what is outsourcing, why outsourcing is being done, what are the advantages, if at all there, of outsourcing, what are the disadvantages, and what are the caveats for outsourcing. So these are the areas that actually are very important to understand. So I'll start off. I'll take some time. I'm sure, I don't know how much time do I have. Where's the anchor person? 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes. That's fine. I'll start with defining what outsourcing is actually, which I'm sure all of you know, but there's no harm in refreshing that. Outsourcing is actually contracting out, subcontracting, or externalizing non-core activities. It's also very important to understand what is non-core for our business. As you talked about, Zafar Sahab, for your Habib Bank, I can talk about Unilever Pakistan. For me, manufacturing is core. It is not non-core. People to work on the machine, people to work on the packing line is a core activity. What is non-core for me in Unilever is that's material management, that's warehousing, that's logistics, that's housekeeping, that's security, that's office services, that's catering services. That's where, out of a zeal to think that we are going to save the cost, we're going to have cheaper people, we're going to have no threat to us in terms of so many people working for us, and we really do go wrong. So it's very important for us to understand what is core and non-core for a business. And it's only the non-core activities, which are non-value adding activities into the mainstream of business, which needs to be outsourced. And then why do we do the outsourcing or the contracting out or subcontracting out? It's basically to free up cash, to free up personnel, free up our time, the management time and facilities for activities where the firm hold competitive advantage. In Unilever, I am a specialist. My competitive advantage is in terms of personal care products, detergents. Yeah? So my time should be going there instead of getting involved in all these kind of activities. And of course, this is going to free up my cash. Manufacturing facilities, if I'm going to come with a new product, and I am not sure what the market is going to be all about that. So I need to have some trial to be done for the time being for that product and hire a third party services. But once the product